Hello, welcome back to another Fabulous Rare channel. I'm Jacob from Jake's Books Corner, and I figured we could also do all the books I haven't read that's on my at home personal own book TBR type of thing. So we have a few books. By a few, I mean there's actually a lot over there that I've never read. And so yeah, and then at the end of this video, after we go through each and every book, I don't know if I'm just going to tell you guys the title. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this, but we're going to pick 5 of those that I think I'm going to really enjoy. Either 5 stars or something out of those lines, or it could be like a fun read. I'm not really sure yet. We're going to pick 5 books and I'm going to read them in a video to see, if we need to keep them or not. There's a few books I have right here already that we'll talk about. First one being Spontaneous by Aaron Stammer. I've never read this. I've owned it for a while now. We also have Sarah J. Maas's House of Earth and Blood, first book in Crescent City. I really want to read this. We have People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I also really want to read this because I really enjoyed her first book. We have The Ferris. This is Laverna's story. I always am a little off about reading the main villain's personal story to bring empathy and sympathy to them if they're so ruthless. And Laverna is very ruthless, but... And then we also have A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I have a few of these over there from the south there, but I'm also really looking forward to reading, and hopefully we'll get to. We have Foundryside by Robert Jackson Bennett. I had this for 5 years or something like that. I've never read it. We have The Missing by Kelly Armstrong. I got this for Christmas, I want to say 2 years ago, and I've never read it. And How It Feels to Float by Helena Fox. I got this not that long ago either. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Actually, I might read this year. Maybe we'll get to it. We have Heated by Jay Kenner, Ignited by Jay Kenner, and then Under My Skin by Jay Kenner. I think these are all part of a series. These two are one series, and this is a completely different one. All by the same author, given to me by a friend. We have The Evolution of Mara Dyer, The Mentor by Sebastian Stewart. I have literally had this since I was 12, which was a minute ago. And we also have The Hunting Party by Lucy Fowley, which I've not read because I didn't really like her other one. 3 Dark Crowns by Kenjar Blake, which I've never read. Children of Blood and Bone by Tony Amayati. I've owned this literally since the day it came out. I have never read it. And Unwind by Neil Schusterman. Just so I literally don't have to hold them all up. The only one I read is the first one of Game of Thrones, but I own the whole series. And if that's not describing my chaotic energy, I don't know what does. Alright. You Try Not to Breathe by Jennifer R. Hubbard. Another one my sister got me. Girl A by Abigail Dean. I actually really want to read Girl A. I just haven't got around to it, Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Marino Garcia. I've heard mixed things, so let me know what you guys think in the comments about it. The Chalkman by C.J. Tudor. And The Lion Game by Ruth Lair. We have Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. And If I'm Being Honest by Emily Ludwig and Austin Sigmund Brooke. I didn't know this was written by 2 people. So we have Nightmare City by Andrew Quavin and Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. When this actually gets turned into a movie and actually has a trailer, I'll read it. We have Winter Counts by David Haska Wambi Wyden, or Wyden, maybe? We have Red Sparrow by Jason Matthews and Black Hawk Down by Mark Bowden, which we might read, just because I have a book coming up that's going to be written in the military. The Edge of the Universe by Sean David Hutcherson. The Light of Other Days by Stephen Baxter. Running the Risk by Leah Griffith. Recklessly Ever After by Heather Von Fleet. Bullet to the Last by Julia Ann Walker. The Only Thing by Mark Harfer. These are all different romances. Most of them are action romances, which I tend to enjoy the most. The Impeccable Logic of Life by Benjamin Sanchez. This is the person who wrote, not Dante. Dante and Aristotle's Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which is why I picked it up, because it was gay and things. I don't know if I'll read it now, just because, Not Even Bones by Rebecca Schaefer. I think I know that author now, but I did not. And The Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake, which I think we all know what that is. I own the entirety of the Fallen Kingdom series. I've never read a single book. I ended up getting this like a bargain deal, like 75 cents for all books. It was crazy. And I had been interested in them, and so I was like, if I like the first one, I'm gonna read them all. So like, I just bought them all. Wild Beauty by Anna Marie McLaughlin. I don't know if I'll ever read this. I actually did not know I even owned it. Bianca Roja by Anna Marie McClare. This is the author of Wild Beauty. I don't know if I'll read either of those. As I've heard, I probably won't like her writing based on other books. And then I also have this is probably a book one. It looks like a book one. This is Faithful by Claudia Gray. Also part of a bug bundle that I got. Specifically chose this one because it is Cassandra Clare is the one who is quoted on top. Again, not really sure what any of those are about, but I don't know. I mean, I know it. I kind of have an idea. Actually, when I got Fallen Kingdom, I thought it was a different series. I still wanted to read it, though. Prioritization portion is done by colors. All the rest of the books are books I've not read yet, so I'm actually going to take you over with me. The Haunting on Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I was told I was actually probably not going to write the writing for this one either, so I got it. Hang on, reading it. And Things We Lost to the Water by Eric Nguyen. And then we also have Abundance of Catherines by John Green. Another book I probably will never read. Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. And James Patterson, The Midnight Club. This is book 2, if I'm not mistaken, that he ever wrote. We have The Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead. Spirit Bound by Mead. Blood Promise by Rochelle Mead. We have Unearthly by Cynthia Hand. Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Ember in the Ashes by Sabbath Tahir. War and Peace, Leah Tosley, and The Literary Guide of America's Version. 19 Lump Songs by David Leviathan. If you've never read David Leviathan, they are both very edgy, but also really good for the teen section. More Happier Than Not. This is actually, I'm pretty sure one of the original covers for the book. I really like the new ones more. By Adam Severa. I do think I'll probably end up reading them this year, even though me and Adam have a very mixed relationship. I love him as a person, but him and me and his writing has never been eye to eye on most things. We'll see if I like it. And then I also have this whole thing where I want to read the entirety of Andrew Smith's backlog, and I own most of his books. So we're going to run through some books I've never read of his that are from that he's written. Rabbit and Robot is one of my favorite covers of all time. The little bit I read of the book I didn't really enjoy. It was much more Grasshopper Jungle than Winger, but everything is much more Grasshopper Jungle than Winger for me when it comes to Andrew Smith. 100 Tideway Miles by Andrew Smith. We have the Alex Crow, if this falls into his other series that I really didn't like. And The Path of Falling Objects, probably one of the first ones we're going to read. I've tried it like 5 times, and I somehow always put down. We have A Court in Wings of Ruin and A Court of Frost and Starlight. These are the last 2 books in the Sarah J. Maas. Looks to be the first 4 books in the Lion Game series by Sarah Shepard. Then we also have Prince Charming and Her Royal Highness, which brings us to the end of this portion of this video. Hello, I filmed that clip a long time ago. The last clip was filmed, I want to say, 6 to 8 months ago, maybe even longer than that. Definitely longer than that. Maybe, probably like around Christmas of last year. I think the video did make its way onto YouTube, so if that's the case, I'll link it, but I'm not sure if it did or not. And I've since moved my bookshelves completely in the whole 9 yards. My whole entire arrangement is different. But for this video, I had 5 categories plus a +1, but in total, from that video, because I have added a few books to this growing pile behind me, I currently have 81 books on my TBR shelf, my unread TBR shelf on Goodreads. So there's the 81 books I chose from, and I went through and I did some calculations or whatever. So yeah, the first one we have to talk about is the +1. There's 6 books on this TBR that I'll be reading in a vlog coming to you in the next month or so, maybe a little longer than that. We'll see how long it takes for me to wrap all these books up, but I will be reading them. The first one I'm talking about is Where the Crawdads Sing. I have been a mixed bag if I was going to read this book or not. The author has been under quite a bit of controversy when the movie was coming out back in June or July. And with Where the Crawdads Sing specifically, I do want to see the movie. I'm very interested in the movie, but that means I'm supporting the author in some way, shape, or form. This was a donation. If I read the audiobook, it will be a donation, so we will read it. It is what it is. And I'll talk about it here. I'm going to try not to influence what the author influenced me personally, but we'll see how it goes. Then we went down a list. I want to read the longest book on my TBR. Not page count, but the longest book I've had on my shelves, which I did talk about in the video before this. I wanted to read the lowest rated book, the highest rated book, an Andrew Smith book, because I had this whole idea and I have so many on my shelf, so I just chose an Andrew Smith book, then a book that my sister has bought me in the past. We're all contenders here. Now, I could have done like the longest book I've had on my shelves, the highest rated, lowest rated, the most ratings, least ratings. There's so many different ways, and I have a feeling as we continue to go through this list, I will continue to do videos like this and so forth to figure out if I need to get rid of a book. So basically, if I don't like a book in this video, that means I'm donating it to a local place that would reshelf the books and stuff. So my longest book I've had on my TBR is by far The Mentor by Sebastian Stewart. This is also the lowest rated book on this entire shelf, but I already had, this is the longest book. So The Mentor, I think, is a thriller. I honestly don't know. It has my sister's name in it, fun fact. But this is from my old library, from a town I don't even go to anymore. And the book itself is from 1999, the year I was born, and I at least have had this since I was like I said, like 12 to 13, right? Yeah, it's a psychological thriller about a famous writer desperate to save his career, brings a stranger into a terrifying results. Hi, babe. So that would be the longest book I've had on my TBR so far. Now, if we continue on our list, the next one I looked at would be the lowest rated book, which is Spontaneous by Aaron Strammer, which is great. This is a movie I've been wanting to watch for a while now, and so if I do watch it, I will try to let you know how I feel about it, not know the John Green blurbed. So that was the lowest rated. The next one I looked at is the highest rated book, which was Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I read Andy Weir already, The Martian, so I'm excited to read this. I do have the audiobook for it, so it should be an easy read. It should be fine. Then my Andrew Smith that I picked up was In the Path of Falling Objects. This is a road trip book, 2 brothers, 1 road trip from hell. I'm reading a lot of road trip books at the moment. This is a perfect read for me right now, and so I'm excited to get to In the Falling Objects. And it's been on my radar for a while. And then we have the Kelly Armstrong Missing. Now, my sister gave me a bunch of books. She has given me a bunch of books. A lot of them I've read, since she has now started giving books that I personally have read that are on my shelves. But for Missing, I've been interested in since I received it. I'm curious. I'm interested. This is technically the 6 books that I'll be reading for a video for you guys very, very soon. Then we'll do another one similar to this where I pick out 5 more books. The one thing I want you guys to let me know in the comments down below, if there is a book that I talked about that you're like, oh my god, you have to read this, you have to read this immediately, let me know in your recommendation. If we get recommendations or whatever it might be, will be in that video for sure. So you do have to let me know in the comments down below though. I'll talk to you guys all very soon. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what books, how many books do you think are on your unread shelves? Let me know in the comments down below. Alright, thank you for watching. Goodbye.